Alright, so today this is my Daredevil guide. I'll be going over his kits, combos, settings, playstyle, counters, targets, best works with, and so on and so forth. I played Daredevil the first 3 days, about 23 and a half hours, and I got him to Lord. And this is basically what I've learned and, how I've played him so far. So, like the video, subscribe if you enjoy. So without further ado, let's get into it. Thank you for clicking on this one.
60
games,
93 wins, 3,000 KOs, 589 assists.
So I'm briefly going to go over his kit. Because, if you play Daredevil, you already know his kit. It's self-explanatory. You have his Justice Jab, which is his main primary that is super loud apparently. You have his Righteous Cross, which is when he uses one of his abilities and he does a cross slam towards the enemy. Let the Devil Out, that's his ult. If they're looking at you, it deals damage over time and it recharges your Fury, which we'll get into in a minute. Let the Devil Out is, I'd say it's pretty situational, and everyone's going to look at you when you ult. So my advice for when you do ult is ult when your supports are ulting, or ult in the middle of a fight where both sides are in a middle ground, you know what I mean? Or when you're in a big brawl fight and both sides are, dead even, and that'll turn the tide. Also, I'd use your ult to get a support ult out. I've used that plenty of times where I've just kind of accepted that I'm not going to do anything with my ult, so, need a support to use their ult premature. Hopefully helps your team win a fight, maybe even more than just a fight, maybe even 2 fights, because that support doesn't have their ult. Devil's Latch, that's his ability when he can pull targets towards him, or you can use it as a movement ability. I use it to get out of fights and to get into fights. I'll also use it in some of my combos, which I'll go over briefly, but I'm sure you've seen the videos, and I'll be totally honest, I don't really, I do poorly explaining my combos, but Infernal Fury, this is his main ability. This is how you're going to do most of your damage. So you have Devil's Throw, which I encourage you to use if there's a lot of enemies around. It's great to start combos with, and you don't really get a lot of overshield, so if you're trying to stay alive, Magic's Demon basically is like Devil's Throw. I think Magic and Daredevil are very similar kits, which is helpful because I just did my Magic grind not too long ago. And then you have Devil's Chain, which for this ability you gotta be looking at their feet. That's how you do the most damage with Devil's Chain. But we'll get into that in a minute. Then you have Sonic Pursuit, locks on a target, and you can get a push in.
No escape.
It's great ability for combos. Objection, blocks damage. Radar Sense, that's your passive. You can see enemies through walls. Blind Ascent, you can walk up walls. And honestly, yes, technically it's just vertical, but you can get latched back onto the wall, so it's really not strictly vertical. Wall. It's like a clunky Spider-Man or Venom wall ascent. So, and you have Blind Verdict, which you get through the Punisher team up. I think this is just Daredevil shares the location of his Sonic Pursuit targets with the Punisher. Yeah, so that doesn't really matter. Yeah, so don't listen to these. If you're learning Daredevil through the game and you see these suggested combos, I wouldn't listen to it. There he is. Dude, look how awesome that looks in the screen. Sorry for my stick drift. It's pretty bad, but look at that. It looks dope. Honestly, one of my favorite Lord icons based on the screen. I think it just looks so sick. But let's get into it. Alright, combos.
Divine
And
justice.
how to use your abilities. So obviously this, get around. I gotta turn this off. Full moon music. That's not a combo. Just spamming buttons, I guess. Alright, so you can.
I see you.
Oh my god, bro. Of course it's.
You've been sentenced to
It's weird, bro. My stick drift, it just flares up sometimes, but it is right now, which sucks. But, Mark, boom. There's one combo.
Can't run from justice.
Combo number 2.
Double KO.
Look at that.
That's what I call justice.
That's probably the most famous combo. This is 275 Luna, so it on 220 or 250s, I believe. You don't even need the melees. So who's 250? Cloak and Dagger, 250, I believe.
Our enemies are near.
So it leaves him 1 HP.
Fire's over.
Double KO.
Yeah, you know,
That's what I
or
call justice.
boom, right jump across.
Double KO.
There you go.
Can't run from justice.
Now you've also, if you don't want to use this, you can do this.
That's what I call
Pull them to you.
justice.
Use that.
Our enemies
boom,
are near.
get the
I
kill.
can feel them.
All right, group.
On the hunt. Ruthlessness is mercy.
All right, you got a tank. Gotta take him out. Here we go.
I can feel them. Can't run from justice.
Do that, or you can do this.
I see. You've been sentenced to public humiliation.
So it's definitely not very good against tanks, but you can definitely do some damage to them.
Judged.
Alright, what's next? Settings. Okay, this one should be easy because I shouldn't have a ton of stick drift, but settings, I'm gonna unplug the controller for now. This is ridiculous, but whatever. Horizontal sense, I like to keep it on the higher end. Vertical sense,
I can hear
higher
them
end as
getting
well. Your sense curve, I gauge 25, I gauge 20, 15, 15. Actually, I don't know why this is so low, but I like to put this at like 10 or 15. This is 20. There you go. So now we have the character of Daredevil. So jumps A, Justice Jab, RT, Objection, LT. Melee, I have Triangle as my melee strictly because of the stick drift. Right stick works perfectly fine. I switched the Infernal Fury and Sonic Pursuit. So for you it's probably RB and LB, but for me it's LB, RB. Personally, I prefer this because, I don't know, I just feel like it's easier to use LB over RB when it comes to main damage abilities. Devil Slash is circle or B, depending on what you're on, and your ult, obviously. So yeah, there's really not much to go on about in there, but oh, here we go. Hero, radar sense, brightness. I put it all the way down. You see
Our
more,
enemies are near.
as you
I
can see
feel
on my
them.
screen. You know, you see way more. Attack, range, hint. Yeah, I definitely use this actually, because swear half the time, bro, I'd be swinging at nothing, thinking I'm swinging at someone. So, hold to wall crawl. That's up to you. Hold to use objection. Also up to you. Yeah. So those are my settings for Daredevil. What's next? Playstyle. So as I was recording, I noticed that the audio wasn't the best, but I've already done it. So I figured I'd just come in here and say a few things about his playstyle. Playstyle. So number one, if you've ever played Magic, play Daredevil like Magic. He's really good in Brawl, and he's really good in diving. So your goal should be finding places around the map, you know, ideally corners and places with cover and exposure, a good medium between the two, and basically sit in those spots and wait for the supports, wait for staggers, use your vision, your you know, blind vision to find holes in the other team, to formulate a plan, and then to go in and attack the supports and stagger DPS, take them out, and then get out, or, you know, force an ult, or force the other team to have to split up and peel. And once the other team starts to peel, or, you know, it's been like a minute and you haven't killed that support or those supports yet, and you can, you know, feel the pressure coming, then that's when you have to get out, or else you will die. That's why a lot of people have like 17 deaths or going like 20 and 17 on Daredevil. It's because they need to know when to get out, when to get in. So in this portion of the video, I will try to, you know, articulate how exactly I thought in this moment or during this game, but for the most part, it might maybe a little difficult. So just a heads up, and yeah, let's get into it. As I was recording, I realized I turned my mic off. I don't know, by accident, I guess. So, dude, I did the entire, I did an entire gameplay review of this game, and then I went into very extensive detail over, I went over every character, on whether they're someone you should target, counter, or just avoid. So yeah, that's great. And then I also went over what supports work best with Daredevil, what DPS, and what tanks. But with that being said, let's just get into this. Try and do it again. Take two. Oh boy.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
Alright, start out, obviously, taking that right side flank. Get some damage on Phoenix. Get a kill on the supports. And heals for supports. And just fall back. Wait, boom, Jeff's all alone, take out Jeff. Now, see our team working on Adam. Go after Adam, take him out. Got both supports, Angel's all alone. Now we basically just get her to retreat. Boom, fights one. Now we're on the flank. So basically here we see obviously is Phoenix is all by herself, pushing up. Obviously I have to go after her, but same with with Angela. Had they not, we would have taken that corner up there. We would have taken that corner there and just kind of waited for the supports and the entire team to push up. Here, we didn't see Phoenix, but there. But since Jeff dropped down, we go after Jeff. Use our block. Any incoming damage. They go away. Now it's just one versus Jeff. They got Jeff. The other team is now healing for Adam, so he can fall back, get out of there, find the health bag, get the health back. And we're just gonna sit in this room, wait, boom, see, all alone, Phoenix right there, go after, force the ults, get out, hide in this little room, wait for the next support. Get Adam, that's all up in the front line, get Adam. Jeff ults. You're really good against Jeff's ult, so I'd advise if you see Jeff ulting, get away from it, and then swallow the enemy. Go after him. Ult there, get 2 picks. Then we go after the sword, get the sword. That will bring the sword knowing we could have used the grab in there, but regardless, we get the support, tunnel vision on the supports. Now we're focusing on Adam. Deciding where we're going to push him at, push him there. There we go. Support already got him, but went to go kill more. It's the thought that counts. See Jeff up here. Go up to Jeff. Boom. 1, 2. We're going to have him. We're going to stall him back here. We do end up getting the kill though. Your goal is to stall the supports and obviously get picks from the supports as Daredevil. That and, being in that brawl, getting that damage, and then using your ult to get up. You can see I'm obviously taking these off angles to get to the supports. Going right past the Hulk right there. Hulk, if you go after the Hulk there, he gets healed. That's a longer fight. But go straight after the supports. Get him out of the way quick. Boom. See, we're avoiding that Angela. We get the support out of there. Our team can clean up Angela. So, main priority is avoid the tanks, just to do it on EP or someone. Right there. Healing for the Punisher. Don't forget to peel. It's not just the supports you need to peel. Yeah, real quick. Let me just say, your #1 goal is to get past those tanks like a BP or Spider-Man would and go after those supports and those staggered DPS. That's your goal right there. Know when to get out. Once they start shooting you and peeling you, and it's like a 3v1, get out immediately. So, and then obviously peeling. You see Punisher in 1v1 with Angela, you're going over there and you're helping your boy Punisher, you know what I'm saying? So, back into it. We all here saying that, they're trying to get in the fight. They're already mostly low health. We get 3 picks right there. Now you got Wolverine in the back and I'm stalling, bro. I don't know how Wolverine stalls 3 people, but it's good on him. Stall. We mark Angela so our teammates know that she's coming in the back line. Then she get damage here, trying to build up ult. Our rocket ulted, so we died here, but it's whatever. We're gonna lose that fight anyways. Ult to the back line. I see our Punisher ulting. Got for support, DPS. Now it's just 2 tanks, 1 support. Our team still ends up losing the fight, so we just fall back. See our girl over here, going in on the girl. They get the pick, but we did waste soul bond, so it's worth it. Get out. See that? See how I kind of just moved around? Just constantly getting the defense to have to, you know, constantly move to try and get me. That's great, because one, you're distracting them, and two, their aim, like, you know, if, you know, your aim gets worse when it comes to moving targets, you know what I mean? If I just walked straight back to my team, then I would have died. But since I was moving around, I was being creative, I was able to survive that. Also, with Daredevil, you know, you've got a lot of resources to you, whether it's the wall climb, the grab, you know, all sorts of things. You can, you know, move around and find ways to use the surroundings to get out, in and out of places. So, here we just follow our tanks in, get a few hits on ult, now we're straight on ES and you see here, I'm going after what happened, you know, sometimes I do advise, you know, making it seem like you're going after DPS, get them on edge so they're trying to get out, and then, you know, basically bait them, and you're going after. It works sometimes. Extend in, try and get her, get that, oh well, on this Adam low. Boom. Rolling. You're just constantly, your goal is to constantly move around and just make waves. What seems like to them random movements. But in reality, you're just kind of positioning yourself while also staying out of their vertical. So here it was 2 supports. So I want to go in and try and get the pick. I saw the peel coming in. Once I saw the peel coming in, I immediately thought about getting go, which I did, and still last up. So I see Mags up with me, so my first thought, maybe I can try to get some picks. No, just walk him down, get out of there. So I probably should have waited a little bit longer to dive in, but yeah, because I heard positioning. It's just I wasted it, and then I wasted my ult. Bad sequence right there. Bad sequence. I heard positioning. It's just I wasted it, and then I wasted my ult. Bad sequence right there. Bad sequence. Alright. Why am I watching? I don't know why I'm watching Magneto here, but okay. Alright, here we go. That kill. Nice.
I demand a retrial. I see you.
Backline. Work with your Iron Fist. You get that pick. Now it's 5v6. Straight to support. All kills. And can't get out of there fast enough. But we get revived. Punisher died, but alternate banner. Pokes him. Gives him back. Yeah, Adam, one shot. Go after that, Adam. Help the team clean up the rest. You think we'd have won there, but forward again. Here. I don't know what I used my watch there, but I think we died again. I definitely, have had some moments where I wasted it, but I was trying to ult before she ulted. It is what it is. It's not going after that support, get that pick. Now after Adam. And down goes Rocket. Weren't able to get that pick, but blows through it. Blows through Rocket ult. So we go straight to Rocket. Right, so we notice that that's almost up. So we get that, that early damage on. Use our ult. Good ult right here. Yep. Should maybe 3 picks here with their ult. Now we're just looking for anyone coming out to stop the cart. No one does. That's the great thing with Daredevil. You can really stall for time with Daredevil. Not to the extent that Iron Fist and Cap can, but you definitely stall. So there's that for boy Daredevil. That's basically how you need to play as Daredevil. Find success. We had 20 final hits, 41 KOs, 5 deaths, 11 assists, most damage, 23,000 damage, most KOs. And listen, you're playing Daredevil, you're gonna be blocking some damage. I've had so many supports who just did not had really low healing and be like, oh well, I healed you the whole game. What do you mean no bad heals? And it's like, dude, most of your damage is coming from, or most of your block damage is actually just your overshield damage. So, but anywho, with that being said, let's go into. All right, strategist. Jeff, you want him on your team for sure, because he's probably number one, works with you best. But with that being said, you counter Jeff so hard. He is actually so easy to kill if you're Daredevil. Obviously, you need to get him in within the first 2 to 3 slams for you to actually kill him, or else he's just going to take you on a ride throughout the entire map. But also in his ult. When Jeff ults, you shred through his ult so fast after he swallows people. So if you can manage not to get swallowed, you will undoubtedly kill Jeff before you can throw your team off the edge of the map. Second best support for Daredevil is Rocket. Now, Rocket is wicked annoying to deal with, but, if you can bait out his dash cooldowns, then he's fairly easy to kill. But, yeah, so that's really it for Rocket. Mantis, also Rocket, his healing orbs obviously can reach you. So Mantis, her healing over time, that helps tremendously. And what else? If you can bait out her sleep and block it, all power to you. But for the most part, if you get hit by that sleep, you're done for. If not, well, she's a piece of cake to deal with. Luna, very similar, but I think she's actually easier to deal with. Harder to have on your team, because if she doesn't put the snowflake on you, you're not getting any healing from her. Because half the time you play with a Luna, her aim is horrible. And the other half of the time, Luna's more focused on healing frontliners and people in front of her, because that's just her kit. And you're usually not frontlining with Daredevil. So you're usually playing off angles and in the back line of the enemy team. So, but, dude, it's so easy to tell when they're about to use their snowball on you. So it's fairly easy to block. I block it plenty of times. So, next up, I'd say Cloak and Dagger. Her bubble is obviously a problem when you're diving her, but it's honestly not that much of a problem for Daredevil as it is other dives like
Black Panther and Spider-Man. Her bubble, basically makes her 350 HP instead of 250 HP. So, and Daredevil shreds through anything from 400 below. Absolutely shreds through. So, she's fairly easy to deal with, and her heals, she basically, has auto aim, so it's, she gets heals to you. Next up, I'd say Invis. Her shield is great, but dude, Daredevil is the perfect counter to Invis. He just absolutely runs her down. She can't do anything against him. So, next I'd say after Invis, I already went over. Let's go over Adam because I want to save Loki for last. Because Adam isn't the best. He's okay to deal with, It's that healing, that rotation healing. It's like Jeff or Cloak. You do enough damage where you can, it's not really much of a factor. But him on your team, I don't advise playing with an Adam because, you're in the back line. That dude has no mobility. He is not healing you. I forgot to mention, Jeff, he can dive with you, and I've played with a couple of Jeffs who have dove with me, and I've been able to take out 2 supports and a DPS with ease with a Jeff with me. Sometimes even 2 supports and 2 DPS. Healing. So, yeah, dude, if you can get a Jeff who will dive with you, you're set. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Ultron, he's difficult to handle strictly because he's a flyer, but if you can catch them in close spaces, or if you can grab him with your grab, then he can be pretty decent to deal with. You just gotta watch out for that dash that he has. If you grab him and then he dashes away, you're screwed. So I would use your pull after he dashes. Loki, finally. Loki. I'll be honest, Loki kind of sucks this season. And his healing just isn't enough. And most Lokis don't really know to put their clones in position where they can heal the dive and the front line. You know what I mean? So, Loki's iffy. I haven't played with a good Loki yet, so I can't really comment on Loki, which is why I want to save the last. Alright. Next, we have vanguards. So, vanguards, I'm just going to leave it right here. You should not be going after vanguards. Not at all. Do not waste your time with tanks, please. But, let's say you're just fighting a tank for no reason. Which ones do you want to not engage with, and which ones do you want to engage with? Angela, I mean, it's difficult to engage with her because she's flying, but, I'd stay clear of her. Hulk, yeah, it doesn't really matter with Hulk. Cap, another one. Doctor Strange, I wanted to talk about, because I fought a lot of Doctor Stranges. And let me just say, you shred through Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is so bad against Daredevil. But on the contrary, Emma Frost and Magneto are insanely good against Daredevil. Magneto is just his kit. His kit is so broken against dives, and if he if he gets a hold of you, you're cooked. Emma on the other hand, all you have to do is bait out that grab, but that grab is so devastating. If she has that grab and she gets you with it, you're cooked. But if you can bait it out, you can destroy her so easily. Penny, oh my god, Penny is the worst to deal with because you just can't destroy those mines, and half the time your teammates are too stupid to destroy the mines, so you're just kind of sitting there like, damn, I can't play that section of the map, so there's that. These three, you'd love to have a Cap or a Venom on your team. Same with the Hulk. I had one game with Hulk, Iron Fist, and me as Daredevil, and it was absolutely disgusting. And then there was one game where it was me, Hulk, and Cap, and that was just absolute steamroll. But yeah, Thor's another one you'd like to see on your team. Even a Magneto. But Thing, you kind of just have a good old brawl with him. I think he's fairly easy to deal with on Daredevil. Thor, I think he's 50-50. You know, sometimes you have trouble with him. Other times, you know, it's different. But realistically, your block does a really good job of blocking his what's called what's that ability called? Awakening. Jeez, I'm sorry I blanked, but he does a really good job blocking the Awakening. But you know, if you don't have your block, then you're cooked. Venom, he's just got so much health. You can shred through him. He's not gonna do a lot of damage to you, but once he activates that overshield, you just get out of there. Just it's not even worth the fight. Duelist, last but not least. Black Panther honestly is a counter strictly based off the fact that if you aren't moving around, he will not miss a dash, and if he does not miss a dash, you're dead. Black Widow, bait out the kick, you're chilling. Blade at first I thought was going to be a really good counter, but as time went on, started to realize Blade isn't as good as I thought he was at the beginning of the season, so you know, just be cautious when you're fighting a Blade. If you screw up a little bit, you're probably cooked, but if you don't screw up, you're fine. Same thing with Daredevil, and same thing with Iron Fist. I really don't have to get into it. It's basically you're on even platform. It's 1v1. You screw up once, or if they have you know, a healer with them or another teammate, you're dead. Just get out of there. Hawkeye, easy to deal with, but beware, because if he's hitting shots on you, you're screwed, because, I mean, he just does so much damage. Hela, bait out the bird and flank her. You cannot stand to fight Hela face-to-face. Like, you have to flank her. Same thing with Phoenix. Phoenix, oh my goodness. She is a massive counter. Her kit is just so good. And then plus the damage that she puts out to you, you have to flank her and like have Omni movement to really kill her in a straight up 1v1, unless they just blow. So Flyers, I'm just gonna briefly go over the Flyers. Torch, he's fast, hardest to deal with among the Flyers. Iron Man, I'd say is the tied for easiest between her and him and Storm. Where's Storm? In Storm. Yeah, I mean, Iron Man, if he doesn't have his overshield ability, then you're chilling. But if he has that ability, he pops that, you're kind of cooked. And if you waste all your abilities, so you have to be very selective with your abilities when it comes to Flyers. Fantastic. That new upgrade to his ability is just devastating when you get hit by it. But if not, he's not that hard to deal with. It's more of you just want him in that giant form because you just absolutely melt him in that form. Magic, same thing as Blade, Daredevil, and Iron Fist going against Daredevil. You know, she's magic. Moon Knight, I think, is very easy because you can just block the Ankh, and if you stand over the Ankh with your block going, you just shred through the Ankh, and then Moon Knight has nothing really left, and you just kick the crap out of him. So super easy. Namor, I really don't think he's that bad to deal with, but obviously if he's a good Namor, you're kind of cooked. Psylocke, not that difficult. Torch, Scarlet Witch, just annoying. She's just annoying to deal with. You need to definitely save your cooldowns and bait out the dashes, or whatever they're called, the ghost forms or whatever. Spider-Man,
Dude, if you're fighting a Spider-Man on Daredevil, there's something wrong with you. Squirrel Girl's easy. You just, block that nut into her. Pause. Oh my god, pause. But yeah, you block that, that ability into her, and she's fairly easy to deal with. Star-Lord, don't even think about it unless Star-Lord's low, because he just absolutely melts you, especially if he can manage his cooldowns properly. We already went over Storm. Punisher, I think he's very easy too. You just need to, watch out for that shotgun. Bucky's with the blade, Daredevil, Magic, and Iron Fist, where it's just whoever F's up less, and I'd pull Wolverine in there as well. So, yeah, with that being said, that is my Daredevil guide. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and please like and subscribe. It would make me feel better. It would do wonders for the channel, and I'd really appreciate it. So thank you. Have a good one. And without further ado, adios.